This week, on a very crucial episode of Days of Our Steelers, the Steelers play on Sunday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks, except this time it's a version not led against Russell Wilson. The last time these two teams played, Ben Roethlisberger suffered a season-ending injury in 2019 and suffered a defeat due to the incompetence of Dante Moncrief. And right here, it's passes complete to Pat Freiermuth, but this game is very huge because whoever loses this game is 2-4, and whoever wins it can go into next week at a 500 3-3 record, and the Steelers have their bye week after this week, so that would be very huge for this team. As right now, Seattle's going down the field. Geno Smith looked pretty decent for the Seahawks against the Rams last week. In my opinion, that interception that was thrown by him to end the game was BS, in my opinion. They tripped Freddie Swain. In my opinion, that is pass interference, as Norwood deflects it. Great play by Norwood, the slot cornerback out of Oklahoma. And this one is caught by Deontay Johnson on 3rd down and 8. That is a very, very crucial play. 3rd down and 6 here for Roethlisberger. He's going to go deep, and he is not going to complete it. You can debate whether or not that was PI or not. Doesn't matter. Overthrow by Roethlisberger. And overall today, I feel he played pretty well. But we'll get to the details of it later because things definitely get interesting. As this is batted down by T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt, number 90 for the Steelers out of Wisconsin, who somehow fell into their laps and 30th overall pick in 2017. That was the year that the Steelers came off of their AFC Championship loss to the Patriots. He has balled out. They signed him a big contract last year, and he will be a very big factor in this game of whether the Steelers win or lose. Just defensive line is really what it's going to come down to. Because a lot of people say this is an easy win for the Steelers. I don't see it like that. If their season turns around, it's going to be because of the past 2 games that they've played. But overall, they're not super impressive wins, so I'm definitely not sold on them. But a win is a win. We just have to get wins going. Ben in the red zone. 10 minutes left in the second quarter. It's passed caught to Najee, and that's going to be a touchdown. Najee Harris. Another receiving touchdown, and in my opinion, a top 10 running back in the league. And thank goodness this game we didn't throw it to him 14 times, and 10 of those times being behind the line of scrimmage for over 100 yards of receiving for him. But he's still getting utilized in the passing game as he should be. And that's going to be a touchdown for Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf with the nice catch. And him and Tyler Lockett this game are really no-shows. They were barely a factor in this game at all, as he has swarmed Cameron Hayward's doing push-ups as he should. He shares the sack with Alex Highsmith and company, as that is going to result in 3rd and 18. They're just going to dump this one off, and that is going to be incomplete. Pass went to Freddie Swain. It's not incomplete. It's not going to be enough for the first down. This one's caught to Deontay. Pretty solid play, can't lie. Usually those plays don't work at all. And fake inside zone to Najee. Pass thrown to Deontay, and it's caught. And believe it or not, it wasn't barely in bounds. It was somewhat closer to the middle of the field. And I loved this play design. This is something that I never see from the Steelers. They had Najee block, and then he popped out as a receiver, and then he caught the ball and was able to get a first down. Very nice play for Harris, and that's going to be a first down. The next play to Pat Freiermuth. Kelvin Ballage subs in the game. He seems to be our running back number 2. You can argue, yeah, Benny Snell and everyone's there too, and honestly, yes, he is. Benny Snell still gets a considerable amount of carries whenever Najee's not in the game, but primarily it's Ballage, and this one is going to go deep, a free play, and Deontay can't hold on to it. Very great defense by the defender, but it's going to technically go down as a drop for Deontay. That's his first of the season, and I like the story that they have about him. Every day after practice, he catches 12 balls to represent his 12 drops he had last year, as this is caught by Eric Ebron for a touchdown, and although it was only a shovel pass, it's technically considered as a pass, and therefore Eric Ebron has a reception touchdown, which means that he caught a touchdown, because God forbid if it was beyond a 5-yard throw, he definitely would have caught it. I'm just kidding. He did his purpose this game, didn't drop anything, so he did his purpose, Really, Freiermuth has taken a spot over. Probably we'll see Ebron gone at the end of the season unless if he takes a really team-friendly deal, and even if he does that, I don't know why we'd want to re-sign him. As Alex Collins is going to keep going. That's going to be a gain of about 4 for Seahawks. They just handed off to Collins again, and he is running it down their throats. I wonder what happened. The Steelers must have went into the locker room and got on TikTok and realized, oh yeah, we're not a football team, we're here for social media, because look at Alex Collins. I mean, the ceremony for the Hall of Famers to get to receive their prizes and their rings, was during halftime, so maybe we thought, okay guys, show's over, we won 14-0. I don't know, because they're running it down our throats. And look at this. They're running it right up between the right guard and the right tackle, and we have nobody lined up there. Again, look at that again. No one's there. No wonder Alex Collins is getting all these yards. We don't adjust. Keith Butler, what are we doing? Your defense has carried you the past few years. I really don't think you're anything better than an average coordinator. Your defense has just carried you these past few years because of the talent that you have on it. This one, handoff to Collins, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So Seattle is able to make a huge play, a huge statement, and this game is far from over. Even though Pittsburgh dominated the first half, they were only able to come out with 14 points. They still have the lead 14-7, but Seattle definitely has a lot of momentum there. Ray McLeod, he follows me on Twitter. He's going to go up to the 40-yard line. That's about a gain of 15. Nice to see him getting rolling in the offense. Handoff to Najee Harris, who falls forward. That's the one thing I love about this man. He has such a promising career. And the offensive line, they didn't play terribly today. As what a clutch pass by Ben Roethlisberger. He actually made some pretty good throws today. That was one of them. Deontay Johnson, surrounded by about 4 or 5 Seahawks, is able to get the pass. And he is again here too. Deontay Johnson, first down for Pittsburgh. And Ben, that was a very stupid play call. The play calling was overall better this game than previous weeks. I'd rate it about a similar rate to the Broncos, maybe a slight step down, but it also could have just been we executed better against the Broncos. But I mean, wow, that was not a good play call at all right there. And that has nothing to do with Ben. People say the play calling has to do with Ben, and sometimes it does, as we're taking a break here, just like we did this, just like the Steelers defense did. And you know what? We're just not going to skip the ad, because guess what? It's really to mock how the Steelers almost lost this game because they decided to skip the second half. And no, I'm not shouting out the Bills. We somehow beat them. I have no idea how. But Ben Roethlisberger, for some reason, a lot of people think that the only reason why our play calling has sucked is because of him. And yes, they do shrink the playbook to what they believe Ben can and cannot do, which, if anything, it discourages your quarterback. But the kick is made by Boswell. Steelers go up 17-7, go up by 2 possessions once again. Nice drive there for the Steelers. But as I was saying, Roethlisberger, it's not all on Big Ben, because Big Ben can throw that pass. That was just terrible play design. That was terrible play calling. Situational play calling was not there on that play. That has nothing to do with Ben. So Matt Canada, he's not terrible, and yes, some of it has to do with Ben, but he's not good. He's not the long-term answer. I think we all need to come to accept that here in Pittsburgh. He should be gone within 2 or 3 years, hopefully. And I know they're not going to get rid of him this year, so that's being generous. Everett breaks the tackle, and he's going to keep going, and Schobert is barely able to bring him down at about the 1.5-yard line, as they're just going to roll out. And this pass is caught, and that's going to be a touchdown to Disley, as that is going to be a touchdown for the Seahawks, and it's 17-14. Cut the deficit to 3. Najee Harris trying to wrestle him past the man, and he can't do it. He's able to get a couple of extra yards, though, to make it a 3rd down and 7. And Claypool not able to come down with it. Another 50-50 ball to Claypool that he hasn't been able to come down with. He should be able to come down with more than what he's had this year, but by all means, pretty dumb play calling to keep doing that. But every now and then, it was really the first time we did it this game, so I'm okay with it. But right here, it's going to be run up the middle, and notice how the Seahawks' 2 starting running backs are not even playing this game. Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, they're both out with an injury, and it seems like they are all the time, every single year, which is very unfortunate for them, as well as the overall team. As he is clobbered, Highsmith and Wormley is able to get to him, followed by Henry Mondo, and that is going to be a sack and result in the 4th down. So the defense stands and do what they have to do whenever their back is against the wall. But this is a tied football game, much different than the first half, but it's at home. Crucial game. The Hall of Famers watching. Can the Steelers get the job done? Roethlisberger, he hands it off to Ballage, who actually makes a pretty nice play. That's going to be a 1st down for Kelvin Ballage, and pretty proud of him for that play. And Ben, was that a fumble? Ben, was that a fumble? I think that was a fumble. I literally think that play was a designed pump fake, because that's all he did. He just vigorously pump faked. I understand he's good at it, but that's all they did. Let's see what happened. Oh my God, that's a fumble. Seattle takes over, and Ben, in the game where he's overall been pretty good, especially considering his past performances, may have given the Seahawks a prime opportunity to win this game. Oh, there's holding on the offense. That play is going to go back. Pittsburgh, very lucky on that one. Very fortunate to have had a holding on the offense. It's going to set them, Seattle, up at the 45-yard line, and they're going to get a pretty solid gain there. Make it 3rd down and 10. They're just going to throw this one to Freddie Swain, who is going to get met by the Steelers secondary almost as soon as he catches the ball. And Ben is bailed out, and he did not pump fake that time. He completes the pass to Claypool, going to get about a 12-yard gain. 7 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Ben going deep on 3rd and 9, and oh my goodness, what a time. One of the only overthrows of the day for Roethlisberger, aside from the one he had in the first quarter. Wow, what a time to look like a 40-year-old quarterback for Ben in the clutch time right now. Certainly shows you how much his game has changed and how he is really tanking as a player. And he can still be a game manager at best if he has if he has just a decent offensive line, because that's going to let the running game open up for Najee Harris and allow him to be better protected to throw the ball less. But he's not anything other than that. It's sad to see, but it's just the truth. I don't think he is the main reason for the problems that we have experienced, although we didn't last week, and hopefully we get the win this week, but he definitely is part of it. As right here, Ben, he's going to throw it, and oh my goodness, what a clutch play by Ben Roethlisberger to Claypool. Very, very clutch. Roethlisberger just lobs it up, and Claypool is able to get it, but that was offensive pass interference on Claypool. What a way to get our hopes up, man. This team, man, they give me at least 5 heart attacks every single game, I swear. It doesn't even matter what the score is. They give me 5 heart attacks because they're just so dumb. As right here, Jamal Adams probably should have been intercepted right there. As Roethlisberger, he throws it, he dumps it off to Harris, who shreds a tackle, and he's not able to get the first down. Great effort by him, though, as it's going to result in a 4th down. 52-yard attempt for Boswell, and man, is this guy clutch, especially at Heinz Field. Boswell makes the kick. Steelers go up 20-17. Geno Smith with the football, going to give it to Disley out of bounds, and the Seahawks, they're just trying to at least tie this game. Winning it, scoring a touchdown obviously would be most optimal, but at least tie this game up, and they're able to convert to get another set of downs, moving the chains here. 38-yard line, Geno Smith set up, just a little dump-off pass, going to get to about the 45-yard line for a first down. Not a first down, trying to get the first down, as this one right here is dumped off to the same player. Who do they grant him with the first down? Yes, they do. Oh no, 3rd and inches. And oh, DK Metcalf finally made a pretty clutch play today. It is a first down. And very risky play. Most teams would probably just run it up the middle, even though considering the clock, as this one is caught by Metcalf. Metcalf trying to get extra yards, and the ball is out. The ball is out, and Seattle is able to recover, but they have to get back to the line fast. They have to get back to this line fast. They have to spike this football. 6, 5, 4, 3. They're not even close. 2, 1, and it is spiked. So they should get the ball with about a second, except they have to spike the football after that. But the refs say there's 3 seconds left on the clock. That is a bunch of BS, honestly. I don't care. I mean, if they lose this game, it's not because of this play, and I'm not going to blame it because the refs have been terrible for at least the past half-decade for every single team. And the Steelers deserve to lose this game the way they played in the second half. But my goodness, man, how can you say there's 3 seconds left on that clock? I will never know. But nevertheless, Seahawks are going to get the ball, and he's sacked by TJ Watt. He is worth every single penny that we've given him, and TJ Watt is able to get through the Seahawks offensive line and sack Geno Smith. What a game this has been. Better than the Cardinals and Browns game and the Ravens and Chargers game, even though those games definitely look better on paper. Ben gets the ball on offense. He gives it to McLeod, who is met before he can get the first down. The Steelers are going to have to punt this football away. This may be where the Steelers' season takes a toll for the worst.
Here I come to
oh my god, he fumbled, it's picked up by Devin Bush. TJ Watt has once again come up clutch for this Steelers team, and Devin Bush recovers, and Geno Smith, oh, he can't believe it. He cannot believe it. TJ Watt has struck again, and he has just saved this Pittsburgh Steelers team from defeat. It will most likely be a win with an attempted kick by Boswell, which will most likely go through. And this season, if they went 2-4, I don't see them going anywhere but 3-3. I will take that record going into the bye week, and it is official. The Steelers have their first win streak of the year. They beat the Seahawks 23-20 in overtime on the game where everyone of their old players is watching. All of the retired Steelers are watching, and they were able to get the victory. I bet you TJ Watt's going to be up there one day getting his rings, the way it looks. But TJ Watt came up very clutch. Roethlisberger in the offense, they shut down in the second half, but overall was a decent performance. A decent performance by the offensive line. Running game worse than last week, still pretty good. I still love Najee Harris. I like the involvement of Pat Fryermuth more in today's game. I also love the fans chanting youth. It's very cool, very nostalgic, and we're already embracing that, man. I love him too, especially coming from a Penn State fan. But Steelers are able to get the job done and advance to 3-3, going into their bye week, where they prepare for a matchup against the Cleveland Browns, who are also 3-3. Now, they have lost to much better teams than the Steelers, but they are pretty injured. They should get some of their players back by the time they meet. But next time, even if the Steelers lose, obviously I prefer they win, but if they lose in a close one, I will be convinced that this team is at least a good football team again, a decent football team again. And although they've won, I'm still not sold. I think they can turn it around, and if they do, this was definitely the point where they started to do so. This was definitely the turning point of the season. But the Steelers are never refusing to die. We have to accept that. They're either going to go 10-7 and barely make the playoffs, or 11-6 barely make the playoffs, or they're going to go 7-10 and have too good of a record to have good draft capital. That's just a reality with this team. They do not tank, they do not give up, but they're also not good enough to truly compete for a Super Bowl, but they could still make the playoffs. That is the goal of this season, is to make the playoffs. I don't care about tanking. I don't care about losing intentionally. I don't care about, if we don't make the playoffs, I'll be okay. I think it's reasonable to expect they won't, until we see them beat another quality team again, because they beat the Bills, but they followed it up with some very crappy performances, and that's being nice, especially against the Bengals. That was awful. That game was terrible. But like I said, I think this team can turn it around. Will they? I don't know, but if they did, this was certainly the turning point. Steelers get the win on Sunday Night Football, go into a bye week, get some rest, and then play the Cleveland Browns. The team is 3-3 right now, divisional rival, and try to get revenge for the playoff game last year. And I'm your boy Meatloaf, and just like the Steelers giving me at least 5 heart attacks every single game, so are the days of our Steelers.